Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Televised Podcast. My name is Anna, and today we're going to be talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths Hour 2. It feels like it was just yesterday that I was in here talking about Hour 1, because it was. And I'm really excited to talk about Hour 2 because I thought it was a really solid episode. I don't know which one I liked better, though. I saw a lot of mixed opinions. Like, I saw some people were like, Hour 1 was so much better, and then some people were like, wow, this one is great, like so much better than the first one. I don't know what to think. I don't know. I liked them both a lot. I thought that they both had just some really great moments, especially in terms of like just like the little stuff, you know, like I was talking about yesterday, like all the little stuff that is just so fun and so cool to talk about. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So this episode starts with Sarah, Kate, and Kara all pouring one out for Oliver. Sarah's like, I never thought that we would be pouring one out for Oliver. You know, I never thought that that we'd really, I mean, she's basically saying, like, I really never thought that we'd be mourning his early death, basically. She's like, I, you know, kind of thought that he would live a nice long life, but alas. And it's really cool because in this moment, they truly feel like the leads of this crossover. Because every crossover has always been the Barry show or the Oliver show, but really, it's always been the Barry show. And now, Barry is like, I've seen him like twice this whole time, and we've got, you know, Sarah, Kara, and Kate kind of being the leads. Like, they're who this crossover is about, and I love that. I'm like, this is great, because this is what we deserve, you know, like, especially now, because as Barry is like really, I mean, he's feeling emotionally unstable about Oliver's death. And so Kara, Kate, and Sarah are like physically just like mentally in the best place to like be the leaders of this kind of event. And I love that. I'm really excited about that because, you know, it's just so cool to, you know, like I said, to see these girls, these women be the leads of this crossover, because like I said, it's always been Barry and Oliver, or just, you know, like it's always been Barry and Oliver show. Now it's time to move on. It's time to pass the torch. And that makes me think of because Mark Guggenheim on the after show after part 1, he said that this crossover is about passing the torch, but in more ways than one. And this felt like passing the torch. This feels like passing the torch of like kind of the leadership role onto Batwoman, Supergirl, Legends, like those kind of shows, like Sarah, Kara, and Kate, like they're the faces now of this universe. And that was awesome. So while they're talking, Kara's basically like, Oliver shouldn't have done that. He should not have sacrificed himself to save me and Barry. And Sarah's like, hey, don't, like that was his dying wish. That was his dying action. Don't, take that away from him. He died the same way that he lived, a hero. But Kate, she's agreeing, and she's like, I don't know if I could stomach this alcohol, thinking about how Oliver just died. And it was just really a sad moment. I mean, Kara, she definitely is like hopeful, but it's kind of wavering a bit. So then, so Sarah says that she promised the Legends that they would never have to do another crossover. And that is so funny. I love that. I love how even in this Batwoman episode, they were like, yeah, we're going to make the Legends like super self-aware. It's going to be great. And so Harbinger is like, okay, well, we need the Wave Rider. Like, whether your crew is on it or not, it doesn't matter. We just need your ship. And so they go and grab a different Wave Rider from a different Earth where Mick is the only one that is left on the ship because all the Legends like retired, I guess. And so he's like squatting on the Wave Rider, and Captain Cold is actually Gideon. Like his voice is Gideon. And I loved that. That was so funny. And then, so they bring the Wave Rider and Mick from that other Earth back to Earth 1. And he becomes John's babysitter. It was so funny. I'm like, why would you trust Mick with children? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Take the child away from him. But it was very sweet. It was a very sweet moment. I really liked him throughout this whole episode. I thought he was great. So then the Monitor does a lot of exposition. He's like, he's up there. He's got a lot of words. We're gonna have to hear him, and it's exposition. And so he talks about these things called paragons. And so basically it's that 7 people in the entire universe are basically like destined to, so they basically have to come together, these 7 people, to fight this crisis. And he's like, okay, so we already got 2. We got Kara Zor-El, Paragon of Hope. And it was so sad because he was like, despite all that you've been through, you're the Paragon of Hope. I'm like, oh my God, Kara, my baby girl. And then Sarah is the Paragon of Destiny, which is very wild. I'm really intrigued to see exactly what that means for her. Because I mean, honestly, like, I think that ties into what she told old Oliver last episode. She's like, yeah, it was destiny, like, that you brought me on the ship and that I helped create this whole thing. So I think that's, why she's the Paragon of Destiny. And then he's like, okay, so there's 2 more that y'all gotta go get. But then that leaves that there's like still 3 more. Anyway, though. So he's like, okay, you gotta go get 1, the future Bat, who will be the Paragon of Courage. And then he's like, you gotta go and get, he doesn't say Superman, but they like figured out, he's like, you gotta go get a Superman who has dealt with more loss than any mortal man can bear, and he will be the Paragon of Truth. So they split up again to go on a couple missions, and it's great. I really like these individual kind of team ups because then you get these interactions and people get the screen time that they deserve, without without it being like super, forced or whatever. So it's like, okay, Kara and Kate can go over there. They'll get their screen time. They'll get their due. And then we can have Iris, Lois, and Clark go over there and they'll get their screen time and everything. And then we can have Sarah go over there and she'll get her, it's a nice balance of people getting their due time and people, being able to have that, being able to have their time. So that's really nice, especially because in these huge crossovers, when there's like 16 people in a scene, only one person can talk at a time. So I like this a lot. So once the Monitor's like, okay, team, let's go, Kara notices Lex Luthor and she's like, what are you doing here? Like, she fully, like, her eyes light up, like, heat vision. She's ready to kill him. And I'm like, Kara, kill him. Do it. Do it. Finish it. Finish him. So, so she sees Lex and she's like, No. She's like, Lena killed you. And he said, I don't remember what he said. He said something. He's like, oh, it didn't last long or whatever. I don't know. He was an asshole. I hate him. So I think that moment really just is the tip of the iceberg of how hurt and how, not dangerous. I don't want to say dangerous, but of how, kind of how volatile Kara is right now, how touchy I guess she is, how vulnerable, there we go, how vulnerable she is, because she has a no-kill policy, as loosely as she takes it, she has a no-kill policy, but she did kill Lex the first time, so I think she'd be cool with doing it again, but she's like, I'm sick of you. You ruined my life. I'm gonna kill you. that's what's going to happen right now. And so I think that that's really interesting, because then as the episode progresses, we kind of see Kara lose it a little bit. I mean, not really, but just, you see her kind of having this anger really bubbling up, that I really enjoyed. So that was a really cool moment. So then Lex, he runs off with the damn Book of Destiny, and the Monitor's like, yeah, it's fine. It was going to happen. It had to happen. Let him go. We'll see him later. And I was like, what the hell? So then we catch up with Mia, who's like, all right, my dad's dead. I'm very upset about it. And so she wants to throw her dad's dead body into the Lazarus pit. So Sarah comes up and she's like, Mia, I've been in the Lazarus pit. It's not fun. It's not good. It's a terrible time. It's awful. You aren't like you're not yourself after you get out of that thing. You lose your soul, and it's scary. She's like basically giving Mia like a warning of this Lazarus pit, and Mia's like, I know all about the Lazarus pit from Nyssa. She taught me everything I need to know about the Lazarus pit and about you. And I'm like, oh shit. She's pretty much like, she's like, yeah, Nyssa trash talks you on the daily. Which is so funny, because it's like, she's just a bitter ex-girlfriend or something. She's not an Ava Lance shipper. She does not like Ava Lance. It's a lot. And so then they drag Barry into all of this mess, because he's like, I cannot sit around while Oliver is dead. Okay? I can't let him be dead. We gotta get this guy. We gotta figure him out. And so Iris is like, okay. I'm like, Iris, what? You're supposed to be like the sensible one. Like, you're supposed to be Barry's like conscience. Like, maybe it's not a good idea to bring your friend back from the dead. Maybe it's not. So then they enlist the help of Constantine as well. So then Kara and Kate, after that whole debacle with Lex, and Kate kind of actually comes and threatens Lex as well. She's like, you know what? I can tell that you're causing Kara a lot of pain, so I'm gonna kill you. And I'm like, oh my god. It's great. I hope that it'd be really funny if they like teamed up to like kill Lex at the end. I'm like, that's what we deserve. So Kara and Kate, they travel to Earth 99 to find this future bat. And a ripped Luke Fox opens the door. And I'm like, hello? Who's this man's? Who are you? You're not Luke. You're not Luke. You're not my son. And Kate's like, who is this? Like, what happened to you, buddy? And Kara's like, oh, at least he's cute or whatever. And Kate's like, stop. That's weird. Don't make it weird. You made it weird. It was really funny. So then Kara's like, all right, well, he slammed the door in our face. Can I please kick the door in? Like, can you just please let me kick the door in? I'll be a good I'll just kick the door in. And Kate's like, yeah, go for it. So she kicks the door in, and then they go in, and Luke is like pointing a gun at them. And Kara stands right in front of Kate, because obviously Kara is bulletproof, so she doesn't care about some gun. She's like, I don't care about a gun. Try it, bub. Shoot me. See what it does. And so then Batman comes down, and he's like, whoa, Luke. We're just sorry about him. We're not used to having visitors. And so he's like, all right, Kate, like, what are you doing here? You're dead. And she's like, you're old as shit. So he comes down, though, in this like exoskeleton thing, because obviously he is like totally, he says that it's from so many years of fighting crime and getting thrown around and stuff, but we find out later a different reason. But he's really, really haunting, and he's really, really creepy. I don't like this Batman. He's so creepy. I just don't like him. And he keeps talking to Kate about, like, killing and, like, whatever. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, please calm down, old man. So while all of this is happening over on Earth 99, Clark and Lois and Iris are on a mission to find Superman, the other Superman. So they find out that Lex, he's basically using the book to kill every single Superman in existence. Like, he's just hopping from Earth to Earth, killing Superman, and having a grand old time, I guess. So they eventually, Iris, Lois, and Clark, they wind up on Smallville, Earth. And they show up on Tom Welling's Superman's farm, and they see him. He's chopping wood. He looks like the brawny guy. Lois even says that, which was really funny. And it turns out, well, Lex shows up, so he's like, woo, hi Lex. And Lex, like, snaps Iris, Lois, and Clark to a different Earth, and Lex is like, I finally got you, ha 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 ha, for the 99th time, you know. And so it comes out that Clark gave up his powers. Listen, I've never watched Smallville. There's too many seasons. I'll probably watch it eventually. Like, it's on my list, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know how he would give up his powers, but he did. And it was very sweet. It was so cute. Like, he clearly gave them up to, like, spend time with his family and just be a dad and a husband. It was so sweet. And I did see that a lot of people were very happy kind of with this Smallville epilogue. If you've seen Smallville, let me know if you liked this kind of epilogue for the show, or if you wish that he had just kept his powers or whatever. So let me know. But that was really sweet. And then we cut back. It's a lot of jumping. We're jumping a lot this episode. So we go back to Luke and Kara, and they're in the Wayne Manor, and he is kind of like watching over Kara in like this den kind of area. And so Kara is looking at this case, a trophy case. And she's like, what are these? And he's like, that's like, you know, little reminders of all the villains that he's beat, Kara. And so Kara's like, you mean trophies, like from his kills? And she's like absolutely disgusted, like, because, you know, we know how Kara feels about killing. Like, she doesn't want to kill. Sometimes she has to, but she doesn't want to. And so she is like, this is gross. You've got like the Riddler's like cane, you've got the Joker's like playing card, you've got all kinds of stuff like snow from like what's that guy's name? Mr. Freeze, you know, all of those villains, and you see those little Easter eggs in this case. But then Kara notices a pair of glasses, and she's like, whose glasses are these? And he says, Clark Kent, Superman's alter ego. And Kara's like, what? This man killed Superman. He killed, like, this to me, like, this Batman is what Batfleck's Batman would have been had both of their mothers' names not been Martha. Oh man. But he didn't actively kill Superman in that one. Superman died anyway, despite their mother's names being Martha. But because he was on a mission to kill Superman in that movie. So this is what I kind of picture Batfleck's Batman ending up as if he had succeeded in his mission to kill Superman in BVS. So Kara is furious. She's furious. So Luke makes some like snide comment about like, oh, that's why he's in the exoskeleton, duh, because Superman like crushed him, but then he killed him anyway. And so Kara knows that this cannot go on any longer. So she goes to find Kate. She's like, Kate, we're leaving. So then we go back. We go back to Clark and Lois and Iris, and we find them as they're coming across Kingdom Come Superman. Mr. Brandon Routh, he's in his blue contacts. He looks so cute. He's got his little gray hair. He's Clark Kent when they meet him, and then they're like, Clark Kent, we need to talk to you. So they go into his office, and they find out that Lex basically killed everyone at the Daily Planet. He put a poison bomb into the Daily Planet and blew it up, and like everyone died, basically. And like Lois, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, you know, everyone was dead. And they're like, aha, it's almost as if he has suffered more loss than any human man could ever bear. And so they know that they got their guy. And so he's like totally classic, totally great. I love little Mr. Brandon Routh. But then Lex shows up and he's like, heh, guess what? I'm tired of killing Supermen. Who would have thought that I'd be tired of killing them? But I'm sick of it. You know what would be even more fun? If y'all fought each other. So he kind of like possesses Kingdom Come Superman and makes him fight Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. And this sequence was really cool. And again, I think they were really smart with their CGI in this moment, because they never, even though you could tell that like when the bodies became CGI, they never actually like showed you like any CGI faces. They were really, really smart with it. So that was really cool. And when they fought on top of the Daily Planet, like planet thing, I thought that was awesome. So then they're like, hey, don't kill my mans. Lois is like, don't kill my mans. And so Lois actually knocks out Lex with like some kind of trophy or whatever. I don't know. A vase. I don't know. So she knocks him on the head. He's totally out cold. And they pick up the book, Iris and Lois, and they try so hard to like rewarp reality or whatever, but it seems like there's just too much of a pull from Lex or whatever. So Lois is like, we need love, you know, because Iris is like, well, it seems like Lex's hate is just so strong that it keeps him bound to this book. And Lois is like, well, you know what? We need love. So she's like, you know, Superman, you know, Lois wouldn't want this for you. None of your friends, Jimmy, you know, Perry, none of these people would want this for you. And so he snaps out of it. But not before using his laser vision on Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. And it's great because it's classic. It's the classic, like, Superman Returns heat vision where it's just like the red and you can still see his eyes. I thought that was great. I thought that was such a lovely Easter egg, especially because I feel like some people would be like, what is that? Like, it looks so cheap. Like, why would they do that? But it's because it's the classic. Like, it was paying homage to the original, to Brandon Routh's original Superman. Then we go back to the pit. So they find this pit, Sarah and Mia, on this earth. Like, it's kind of a ghost town. It's like Western. And so they're like, all right, we got to put Oliver in the pit. But not before Sarah and Mia have a fight with Jonah Hex, because he's like, you little lassies, this is my mine or whatever. And they're like, shut up, old man. So they fight him, and then Sarah gives him the scar. He's like, well, you were gonna get the scar anyway. So she gives him the scar on the side of his face, which was awesome. And so Oliver gets put in the water, and guess what? he's soulless. Like, he jumps out of the water and Barry's like, whoa, and Sarah's like, uh-oh, and Constantine's like, oh boy, here we go. And Mia's like, Dad, Dad, it's me. But he's like literally a soulless monster. So then Sarah tranks him, and Constantine then tries to retrieve his soul, but apparently, because of all the antimatter, his magic isn't working. So they're stuck with a husk of Oliver for now, which, again, is what I thought would happen. I literally was like, guys, if Constantine can't bring his soul back, y'all just have more problems. Like, stop creating more problems for yourselves. And the thing is that, like, I noticed, some people on Twitter were pointing out, they're like, okay, like, Kara can just move on from her mom and her whole planet and her whole world being, destroyed and gone, but Mia cannot stand to see her father die, so she's irrational and goes off and does crazy stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's their characters. Mia is like Oliver. She's hot-headed, she's spontaneous, and she's stubborn, and she's impulsive, and she's emotional. Like, she's gonna do what she believes will help her heal and will bring her dad back, and will, she's like, I can't do this without my dad. And whereas Kara, she's she's gone through so much loss already that she knows that she has to shoulder all of this and just keep going. But it's finally getting a bit too heavy for her. But she just doesn't have, or I should say Mia doesn't have the ability to just move on. Like, she just doesn't have that. She physically cannot stand to just put it aside and be a hero. She's like, no, I'm getting my dad back, and that's that. Whereas Kara is like, you know what? I have to put all my emotions aside because Supergirl doesn't break, doesn't bend. She's the girl of steel. And I think that's a really interesting distinction between the two characters, especially because it shows just how much stronger Kara is emotionally than, like, pretty much everyone. Except for, like, Sarah. Sarah was clearly dealing with it very well, but she knew that Mia was so stubborn that she had to go with to kind of monitor her. So then we go back to Batman land, and of course, this Batman has kryptonite, so Kara is fully in her suit, which I loved that Kara literally just put, like, a normal shirt and a normal blazer over her, like, suit. So she used her suit pants as pants. I loved that. So anyway, so Kara's got her suit on now, and she's like, Kate, we gotta get out of here. This guy killed Superman. He's a monster. We gotta go. And Kate's like, you did what? And so this guy, he pulls out kryptonite, and when Kara goes to punch him, he punches Kara with his kryptonite. And Kate is like, whoa, because she's so protective of Kara. She, like, stands right in front of Kara and starts beating the shit out of this Batman, and then she actually kills him. She shoves him into this thing, and his suit, like, electrocutes him because of this, like, current or whatever of the thing that he ran into. So Kara's like, she even reaches out for him, and Kara's like, no. It'll kill you too. And he's just sitting there being electrocuted. So they come back to the Wave Rider, and basically the guy's like, well, Kara's like, you know what? You sent us on a wild goose chase. That guy wasn't the paragon of anything. He was a monster. And the Monitor's like, well, Kate Kane, you showed incredible courage standing up for Kara. So you are the paragon of courage. I had to send you there to prove to you that you could be courageous and you could be a hero. And you are the future Bat. I loved that so much because it's like, yes, establish that Kate, she's Batwoman. She's the Bat from now and for forever, and I love that so much. So then we have this Kara and Kate moment where they are hanging out. Kara is drinking beer, for the taste, they have to show me every crossover. Kara drinking beer for the taste. That's disgusting. And what I mean when I say that is that since Kara literally is not affected at all by alcohol, that means that she sits there and drinks a beer because she likes the way it tastes. That's disgusting. That is revolting. Beer is disgusting. Ugh. So they show me her drinking beer, and then they're talking, and Kate questions like whether she can actually be a paragon when she doesn't even feel like a hero. And Kara is basically like, you know what? You are a hero. I can see it. Like, I know that your heart is the heart of a hero. But then Kara's basically like, you know what? I'm gonna use that book to bring back Earth 38. And Kate's like, what? And because this whole episode, Kara has been saying, I don't trust the Monitor. I don't trust this guy. I have a bad feeling about him. And so Kara's like, you know what? I don't care if he said that it would be catastrophic or whatever. I'm going to bring my home back. And basically, I think she's kind of like, hey, if he lets Lex Luthor do whatever he wants and run around, then I can do what I want. So Kate, then we see that Kate kept the little kryptonite thing that Batman had, which is a lot. But one thing that I also love from that moment was Kate looking at a picture of her and Alice from the other Earth. She snatched it from Earth 99, Bruce's house, and that was just so sweet. She's like, you know what? I don't know if she can still be redeemed. And Kara's like, you know what? You never know until you try. And I love that. I loved that because it kind of did foreshadow a moment of redemption for the two of them. And then I also kind of felt that it kind of foreshadowed a redemption for Kara and Lena, because Kara still has so much hope. And Kate even says that. She's like, look at that, the paragon of hope. But it's so interesting to me that Kara, you know, she's at the point now where she's lost everything. And she is so willing to do literally anything to get her normal life back and just to save her world. Because you know what? She didn't have the opportunity to save Krypton when she was younger. And she didn't have the opportunity to save Argo like a day ago. And so now she's like, you know what? I have this book. I'm going to save my world because I physically cannot take any more loss. And I think that the hope and the idea of saving Earth 38 is genuinely the only thing that keeps her standing up at this moment. And the thing is that they're also like pushing her trust to the max with the Monitor by bringing in Lex and by bringing in all of these really, really undesirable people, you know, like Earth 99 Batman and stuff. And now she's just gonna rely on herself. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to be a team player right now. I'm going to do what I believe is right, and that's what it is. And I think that that's a really strong parallel to Lena's storyline. Kara's, because they both were very distrusting of heroes, whether it be Supergirl or the Monitor, and then they decide to make a risky decision because of their great loss. And I think that's really cool that they're like, you know what? Maybe they can understand each other now. That they're kind of going through this similar storyline, this similar arc that they've got. So I don't know. I really, really like that. I love that. Especially because, again, like I said, you know, if it can help them understand each other, then that's awesome. Also, one thing that I really I really like is that I had this idea where next episode, Alex or Lena or Brainy or John or someone has to be the one to like pull Kara back from using the book. I think it'd be really, really cool to see if they like hologrammed Alex in or whatever, because obviously they're on a spaceship going somewhere. And so it would be really, really cool to see that. And I know that Kate doesn't want to use the kryptonite. That's the thing, is that Kate doesn't want to use the kryptonite. She just has it. Well, I don't know why she would grab it, though. That's the thing that I'm like, well, why did you take it in the first place? But she doesn't want to use the kryptonite on Kara. And I know that. Like, that pensive look that she had at the end of the episode, she is only going to use that if she absolutely has to. Like, if she is, if her hands are tied, then she's going to use it. And I think that's really interesting. So, and then we see the Anti-Monitor, and he's ugly as shit. And he actually brings Harbinger over to his side. And that's very interesting to me. I'm like, whoa, what? Because she was like kind of fainting the whole episode. She was very disoriented. She kept hearing him call to her. So now she's on his side, whereas Pariah is on our side, which is really interesting. And also I had a thought. I love to think about the idea that the Super Friends are all on a ship somewhere in space, and Lena's like, you know what, Alex, this doesn't mean that we're friends just because we're stuck on this ship together, like as she beats her at chess for like the 4th time. It would be so funny. I hope that next episode we kind of see a glimpse of what's going on with the people of Earth 38, just genuinely to help Kara's storyline with that. So I hope that we see them. But I wasn't actually too mad that we didn't see a whole lot of Supergirl characters this episode because, I thought we had a good amount of Kara and Kate, and I thought it was really cool. I don't know. I really like the way that they're going with this. And I'm really excited to see this 3rd part tonight. And yeah, so I hope you guys have been enjoying the crossover. Or I hope you guys have enjoyed the full crossover. And I hope that, you are enjoying the moments and the fun of all of this. If you want, you can let me know either in the comments, or you can tweet me at Televised Pod and let me know what your favorite moment was from this episode. Whether it was like a little moment or whether it was like a whole sequence. Let me know what you thought, because I love to hear from all of you and see what your favorite moments are, what your interpretations of stuff is. I'm really excited. So let me know what you thought of Hour 2. Let me know what you really enjoyed, maybe what you didn't like, all of that stuff. Let me know. And you can subscribe, you can rate, you can like, you can do all of that stuff if you're so inclined. And I will see you tomorrow for our final installment of this 3-part Crisis event until January. Then I will make, obviously, another episode for Crisis Part 4 and 5. Since they're on the same night, I might just do one. I think I'll just do one, honestly. It'll be probably a pretty long one, but I might just do one because they're on the same night. So we'll have to see, though. I'm really excited to keep talking about Crisis with you guys. Let me know what you think of the crossover. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Did I point something out that maybe you did notice? I don't know. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.